Well, getting about ready to start working on my door when I discovered right in there, you got this little piece of metal that stretches across, kind of holds the inside and the outside of the door together, and mine was ripped off, so went ahead and welded that up. I'm gonna give me a little piece of cardboard and kind of hold it right here and kind of dust some paint on that right there so that hopefully it won't just rust all the way out. Then I decided to come over here where I dug out our sound deadener, and this is some of the leftover pieces I had, and I got a couple full-size pieces in the box still, but I'm gonna start with these chunks right here. I'm gonna throw some sound deadener in both the doors, because that's really about all that's left that doesn't have sound deadener on it. Throw a little sound deadener in there, and then we walk along through here. So here we've got our weather strips for both sides. We got the felt that goes along the main vertical post. We've got our inner and outer belt moldings. Yep, my power window kits right here, all these pieces. Now, I will say that all of this is the power window kit that I bought for this truck. I got new window regulators. I bought them. They did not come with it. But this power window kit right here looks like it's going to be the biggest pain in the butt of a window kit I've ever tried to put in. Has just a ridiculous amount of hardware. Normally when you buy a kit, it comes the regulator itself, which is this guy right here, which is what runs the window itself up and down, mounts to the window regulator itself. You know, it's all kind of one piece. Well, it looks like the way this thing works is you put the stock window regulator in, and then you've got 3,000 adapters that you have to sort through that actually adapt onto where the original power window or manual window crank went down, and it actually just spins the original window crank. I'm not super happy about that. I'm just going to go on and be real honest with you. If I could think of a car right now that had a regulator that was made like that, even close to being like that in power, I would go and take it off of an existing car. But I think I paid about $180 for this kit, so I'm going to try to sort through it, make it work. I think it's going to be miserable. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. I got this. This is the interior handle. Because my driver's door, for some reason, this little area right here on my driver's door, this guy kept binding up. It would never work. I used to have to put a pair of pliers on it to make it work. So I think that guy was $30 or something like that. So we move on. I've got new frames for both of the vent windows. I got new rubber for both of the vent windows. I also have new glass. Both the vent window and the movable glass that goes back there. I have those two new pieces of glass. Haven't got those out just yet. This is the little handles for the vent windows and all the little pieces to make it work. The little springs, nuts and washers and all that crap. I bought all of that. I want those to work nice and smooth. So I have no idea what it's going to entail to put all this together. Should be fun figuring it out. So first I'm going to start with the little sound deadener. I've got to put I washed the exterior door handles off. I'm going to use the factory ones. I just discovered that my door latch, wherever it is, I think it's in the floor over here somewhere. I just discovered that my door latch, I don't know where I put it. Anyhow, just discovered that it's broken. A spring fell out of that thing, so I'm gonna have to get on LMC, order me a fresh door latch, but I'm gonna put the passenger side one back in the other door, and I'm gonna go on and get started installing the window regulators to get our sound deadener put in. Then just kind of see where we're at from there. I'll kind of narrate as we go, and we'll just see what this takes to get done. All right, well, first things first, I got to looking at this door. Not really first things first, I don't guess. I got to looking at this door, and it's ripped on the same spot inside as the other door was, so I got to weld that up right quick. I'm going to get that welded, ground, squirt a little paint on that right quick. Then I've washed off my handles with a SOS pad on both of my exterior handles. Neither one of them cleaned up very good, but I don't really care. Whatever. I'm gonna put my handles in. I'm gonna put my latch in. I'm not gonna put the lock cylinders in just yet because I do not have the key for them. I guess I'm gonna have to order some. I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but I did nonetheless. So latch, door handles, I'm gonna get that done. Then at that point, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put the interior handles on right quick. Then we're going to start trying to build out these vent window, all the new stuff that I got for them. Looks like there's maybe some kind of little flashing or something that goes in the track that holds the vent window in. I've looked on LMC and I've looked around online. I cannot find anywhere that sells anything specifically for that. I did look on the window itself. It's got like a little plastic rubbery kind of liner that sits in the track itself that the glass slides down into that kind of locks it in. I ordered some of that from LMC. It'll be here in a couple of days. I didn't realize I needed that. I've always used a product called Channel Grip. I've never seen a rubber insert that goes in there before, but first time for everything, right? So nonetheless, I'm gonna get going with that and follow along. So when installing your latch, you always want to make sure that you leave all your arms for your locks and everything. Make sure they're free and or going where they're supposed to, because obviously on this one, I thought I was watching them all closely. I apparently was not. The lock, the one that actually comes up through the hole here, is pinned up inside this window channel. So I've got to take the latch back loose and hopefully try to fish that back out. Yay. All right, so I gotta give me some swanky little lock knobs to go on here because mine were old and dry rotted. I'm gonna go grab my little interior door handle and put it on. That way my rods are all connected and everything. Then I'm gonna have to drag the welder over here and weld this up. So here we go. So the interior handle just held on by one of the little Phillips head screws. Got a little metal bracket. You just kind of hook in the door and put the one little screw in, and put your actuator rod through there, and good to go. Check that. Put the rod in first. It's a little tight with all that new rubber on it. Well, look at that. Ain't that swanky? Now, how did we get there? Well, let me just go and tell you, it was a real pain in the butt. A lot bigger pain in the butt than I thought it was going to be. So we started with something that looked like, this. That piece of junk right there. Which, I don't know, I guess not a piece of junk. It actually still works, even for as old as it is with all the original stuff. Now, back to over here. So, this is the original track and frame. I just kind of scuffed it down and put some shiny black on it. Now, obviously, we ripped out the old rubber, put some new rubber in there. You see I got new nut, new spring. The little thrust washers that are in there, the plastic ones, I got new ones of those. Also, I bought a new frame for the vent window itself, because that one I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to get the glass out of it and get it cleaned out good. Also got a new piece of glass. Now, I also bought a new little arm here and the little pack of hardware that comes with it. Now, to the rubber. This stuff was a real pain in the butt. I'm going to show you how I did now that I've got this one done. I'm going to video how I did the other one, but I'm going to have to time lapse the crap out of it, because just putting this stuff right here in took forever. Then also, the vent glass itself goes in It's supposed to have this some kind of like felt stuff that you wrap around the window and you just kind of press it in. It's kind of like rubbery. I'll show it to you on the fixed glass because I had to use it on the fixed glass. But it was like rubbery stuff, and I could not, for the life of me, get it to go in here right. So what I did is I took the vent glass to work, and when the local glass guys came by, I had them come by, and we just put some primer on the inside of it there and primed the glass up and shot the entire track here full of window urethane like they use to hold in windshields with. Smash the window down in there good. Let it set up for 24 hours, and that's where we get what looks like this. And of course, you deal with all this nasty, funky squish out, but the key is to leave that alone. You let it set up for 24 hours, because see, the thing about the stuff that they use, the real window weld stuff, this stuff will not stick on anything that does not have their primer on it. So as long as you prime the inside of the track, and I set the glass in, and I drew a little line along the edge of the frame, so that then when I put my primer on my piece of glass, I didn't go past that black line. So what I did then, after it got good and hardened up over time, I just came back with a razor blade and came in under it and cut it, and then came back and walked along this edge, trimmed it all up. So that's how we got that. See? Looks much nicer. Got a bunch of fingerprints all over it, but looks much nicer. Ooh, did I just show the truck in the background? A little bit. Anyhow, you see it looks a lot better. So then on to this little guy right here. This turned out to be something I thought was going to be very simple. Turned out to be a real pain in the nuts. You see, I don't even have the little button in the end of it there that you're supposed to have. I got a new button, got a new spring to go in there. Won't work because this guy right here, this little stud that sticks out off here, see that guy? Well, it's about a ½ inch shorter than it's supposed to be, which really kind of put me in a spot there, because what you've got is you've got that little ridge right there. So what happens is you're supposed to sit that arm down over top of it, and then you got a little, oh crap, not a dowel, but crap. You know what I'm talking about. A little pin that presses in, that presses through there, and it sits in that. So you can turn that around it. Well, the problem is, on this one, that little pin has got to go right there where my fingernail is. So after a whole lot of looking at it and thinking about it and trying to think of other ways, basically I just marked where I needed it. I took a cutoff wheel. I made me a little slice right around there. That way it could just ride in that little groove, and I could press it on and hold it in place. And I got it put on there, and as you see, it does close like it's supposed to. The window does seal up. Now, it doesn't seal up absolutely perfectly, which was a little bit of a letdown because I bought new rubber and everything, but it seals up pretty good. I think it'll be good enough. So, like I said, this one goes in the driver's side. I wanted to get it all put together first to see how big of a pain in the butt it was, and then move on to the passenger side. So now you can watch me do the passenger side in a little time lapse with some snazzy music.
Alright, so the teardown's pretty simple on this deal. You got those 2 bolts and the little hinge right there. Then you got a nut and a couple of little washers down there on the base of your vent window frame right there. If you have a new frame like I did, you could just, in the new hardware, you can just cut that little dude off there if you want. It'll come out of there a little bit easier, but even still, a little bit of WD-40 or Croil or something, it'll come out of there. It's not too awful terrible. Just had to kind of work in mine just a little bit, and it came on out of there. Nothing too special right here, just hot water and a red scuff pad with some Dawn, and just scuff the hell out of all of it and clean it at the same time. Now let me go on and fair warn you before you do this for yourself. This piece of rubber right here will make you want to shake puppies. It is so aggravating and time consuming. I mean, you just have to just keep plugging away at it and be diligent. You'll eventually get it all in there, but good Lord, I wanted to throw this frame across the shop several times. Alright, so if you remember, I told you before about how that little arm that opens and closes and locks the vent window, the new one that I got, didn't seat all the way down where it was supposed to, so I had to cut a little groove in the little stud that sticks out from the window frame, so it would work and I'd be able to get the roll pin in there. So this is what I'm doing right here. I'm putting a little knob on there and pushing it down, taking me a little scribe, making me a mark there on it. That way I know where to cut my groove so I can get this thing on there so these windows will actually hold shut. Alright, so obviously if we're going to be running a cutoff wheel next to glass, we're going to have sparks. So we'll throw a little tape over this piece of glass right here in hopes that it won't throw, a bunch of hot metal all over it and nick my new glass all up and ruin that. Would be nice if the brand new parts that I bought, actually fit like they were supposed to, so I didn't have to go through this crap. But I guess it is what it is, right? So now for the fun part, cutting a groove in this thing in just the perfect spot so I don't ruin it. And now for my custom made roll pin installation tool. That's right, channel locks with tape on them so they don't mar anything up. Look at that. Press her right in there, everything seemed to go smoothly. Then break the glass, everything works. Untape her and eureka! Dunzo.
Well, unfortunately, I sat here and I struggled with that rubber for that vent window, and I did all this really cool narration and, got the vent window all put together and everything, and cut the groove in it, like I showed you, put the roll pin in there, and, I was all excited and thought I had a good, section of video made covering that, and then realized that, somewhere right at the beginning there that apparently my phone ran out of storage, so I had to go, finish the rest of the night and dump the videos on my computer and everything. But back to, I'll show you that all put together in just a minute. Yeah, it is what it is. So if you remember, I told you about that felt-like stuff that you actually put on the around the glass, and it just kind of squeezes itself in place, and that holds the window in place. Now I did that on the fixed glass on both of them. You see how the track goes on the bottom there. So basically what I did was I took some of this stuff, which, let's see if I can get up here where you can see it. You see that little edge right there? It wraps around the glass, sticks in there. Hope you can see it anyway. So I took and I put it half and half, wrapping around the glass, and I taped it to the one side of the glass, and I laid the glass down. I took some 3M Gorilla Snots, what we call around here, weather strip adhesive, and ran just a little light bead right at the base of the glass, flipped it over, taped it down, let it sit up for 15-20 minutes so it would tack up real good. Then I came back in the track itself once I got it all cleaned out. I ran just a light bead in the base of that track down there. That way once I press it down in there, I know it will hold good. So I did that. Then I just took a measure to the center of the glass, to the center of the track, made a mark on each one. I started the track up on the glass, got like a little soft face dead blow hammer, just kind of bumped it up on there. It actually went on there pretty easy. Did that on both sides. I did that the other day, so it's all good and dry. So next up, we're gonna put this door together. I'm pretty stoked. So let's get to it. Well, we're not gonna get it done in this video because this video is already about 22-23 minutes long, and I shortened up as much as I could and still show you everything that I wanted to show you. Come back for the next one. You can watch me struggle with how to fit that vent window and frame in that door without it being ripped apart this time. It's actually welded back together. Hopefully, if you've got to do this job on your truck, this will help you out some, seeing what I had to do. If you have a problem with the little lever like I did, hopefully that gives you some kind of, a solution to your problem. It worked on mine. I'm sure it'll work on any of them if you had the same problem.
And if not, if yours goes together great, well, that's great for you. Mine, nothing ever goes that easy for me. As always, thank you for watching. Come back for the next one.